Welcome to Blind Level Tech. This isn't just accessible tech talk. This is technology on a whole new level. We're showing you just how possible it is to live the life you want.
This is another episode of BLT, and my name is Evan Starnes. And I'm happy to announce that my voice is finally back to sounding the way it's supposed to sound, and that's personally great for me because, editing the show for the past couple of weeks, sounding all congested and like I've got a cold because I did, well, it wasn't exactly the most enjoyable. And it's also great because now I can finally test out the new and improved personal voice feature in iOS 26. And I will definitely be doing a demonstration of that on a BLT Byte in the not-too-distant future. But none of this episode concerns anything Apple or iPhone or iOS related whatsoever, but we will be continuing with our trend of covering hardware releases and software releases. We're turning our focus over to Meta, the company, of course, behind Facebook, Instagram, and the very popular AI smart glasses that we all know and love today, as they have released a number of new features as well as some new hardware over the past few months that I felt is definitely worth making an episode about. Meta has recently released a new and improved version of their Ray-Ban smart glasses, and there's a couple of pretty significant upgrades from the original pair that came out a couple of years ago. And if you've got a pair of Meta glasses that you've had for some time and maybe they're starting to show their age, or you're looking at getting yourself a brand new pair of Meta Ray-Ban glasses, the second generation has twice the amount of battery life. So we're going from about 3 to 4 hours all the way up to 8 hours. And that may be hindered by video recording, photo capturing, or if you're using Meta AI a lot. And they've also upgraded the camera, and now it's able to record at a maximum video resolution of 3K. So I guess, if you're a videographer or you like capturing photos and videos of your adventures, if you have low vision or you show your videos to sighted friends, they definitely will probably notice the improvement. And it does put the camera sort of on par with smartphone cameras of the day. They also released a new pair of smart glasses with a display in one of the lenses. They'll be able to show you notifications and you can video chat with them, but I'm not entirely sure if they are accessible. Nothing I could find online would detail if there was a screen reader or if there's going to be a screen reader available for these glasses. Alongside that, they've also introduced this new wrist control device that you can wear and effectively use surfaces like tables or chairs or whatever as sort of a touchscreen interface. So another way to, control your glasses without using your voice. And that is, of course, specifically for the Meta glasses with the display. And I will be looking into the accessibility of those glasses. And if I find out that they are accessible, I will definitely be doing a follow-up on the details of what makes them unique and why maybe you might want to go pick up a pair instead of the traditional standard Ray-Ban or Oakley glasses. And the nice thing, of course, is you can just go to your local Best Buy or a Meta store or on Amazon and pick up a pair of those pretty easily. Now, as far as software updates, I'm going to go through all of these updates in sort of chronological order and really talk about what they mean for the blind and low vision community. For almost a year now on the Meta glasses, you've been able to set timers and reminders, sort of like you can on your smart speaker. And, it kind of makes these sort of an assistant that you can wear, a wearable personal assistant. But now you've got the ability to link your Google and or Outlook calendars. And you can ask, what's on my calendar? Do I have any meetings coming up? It'll definitely be convenient and it'll save you the whole having to pull out your phone, open your calendar app, as, it's right on your head. They've also expanded their Audible support. So for a while now, you've been able to stream Audible to your glasses and control some aspects of the audiobook. You go forward and backward chapters, play and pause, but you couldn't exactly tell it what audiobook you wanted to listen to. You had to do that with your phone until now. So now you're able to have it play any Audible book that you've purchased in your Audible library. It's more in line with the Audible support that you would see on Amazon smart speakers. So, if you're sitting on a train or a bus, or you're kind of you don't want to listen to music or a podcast, but really want to hear an audiobook, it's now a lot easier to do that from the Meta glasses. They've also added an interesting feature called Reminder Creation Location. That's what I'm calling it. Basically, that is whenever you set a reminder of any sort, it will log the location of where exactly you set that reminder. So I'm trying to think of use cases for this feature, but perhaps maybe if you were looking through your reminders and you said something like get milk, at least, you could, if you'd done that reminder when you were at a certain store, maybe you would be able to look back and see, okay, I had a reminder to get milk from King Soopers, so maybe that's where I'll get milk in the future. But I was also thinking this would be useful, and I'm hoping that you'll be able to set it to remind you when you get to a certain location. For instance, remind me to turn on the oven when I get home, as you've been able to do that on smartphones for quite a few years now, and it would be very cool to have that on the Meta glasses. They've also improved the speed of the camera for taking photos and videos, and I think that has something also to do with another update that I will be discussing here at the end of this episode. But now whenever you take photos, it's a lot faster. It takes about half the time it used to. And also recording video, it took previously about a second from when you would hold the button down to when the video would actually start recording. And now it's not quite instantaneous, but a lot more snappy feeling. So, if you do a lot of photo and videography, you'll definitely notice this improvement. Now, the July 2025 upgrade, they didn't really add much, but they did add Instagram calling and messaging support. So if you didn't know, you have the ability to send direct messages and do video and audio calls from Instagram, similar to Facebook Messenger and other and WhatsApp. But now you can do video calls and audio calls and send messages to your Instagram contacts from your Meta glasses. So you can go ahead and link that in the app integrations section of the Meta AI app. Now, in June 2025, there's a very big update that I want to put a lot of emphasis on, and that is the detailed responses. And this has been pushed quite a lot by the blind and low vision community, as when you would ask Meta to take a picture, what's in front of me, or look and read, you would get, especially with the what's in front of me question, you get a fairly quick response about what it saw, if there was anything like objects in front of you or anything of significance. If you're blind or low vision, the detail of those responses, while it was good, and it was definitely a lot better than, nothing at all, it didn't really give a lot of info, especially on things like people or specific objects or the location of these objects. But they've added a new feature that you can turn on by going into your glasses settings, and then under the very bottom accessibility section next to the Be My Eyes option is the option for detailed responses. So this should give you a lot more detail about your surroundings, including objects and their exact location, the number of things in front of you, even describing people and colors and scenery just in greater detail. It's putting it more in line sort of with the upcoming Echo Vision glasses in a sense, and unfortunately it only works on images. So you can use the commands like what's in front of me, describe the scene, what am I holding, but it won't work, unfortunately, with Meta's live AI mode yet. They've also added support for iHeartRadio, and if you like listening to radio stations or even some podcasts, you can now do that with your Meta glasses. And of course, iHeartRadio does have podcasts as well, and we do have some of our podcasts, our most popular shows, on there as well. So I haven't tried this yet, but theoretically, you should be able to say, play The Blind Chick on iHeartRadio, and it should do that. But you have been able to play podcasts on the Meta glasses already for some time now through things like Spotify. And now we've come to the sort of what I call the undocumented section. And there's just a couple of things that I've personally noticed through using my Meta glasses and kind of just going through all of these settings of the app that I really wanted to talk about. And the first one, and I guess, if you're me, being a sound guy and liking anything to do with sound design and sound effects, if you've used your glasses for some time now, you might have noticed that, they sound quite different now compared to how they first sounded, especially at the beginning of this year and before that, as they've completely redesigned the sound set that these glasses use, from when you put them on to when you take pictures and adjust your volume, and even when the battery's low. Personally, I like the new sounds that they have. They're a little bit softer, and especially the camera sound is a little bit quicker, and that's probably one of the ways that they've improved the camera performance. As used to be when you'd take a photo, you'd hear a couple different clicks before it actually took the photo, and everybody around you would hear them as well because they were pretty loud, but they're a lot quieter now, and I just feel like they're, a little bit more enjoyable to listen to. But I'd be curious to know, do you like the way the Meta glasses sound now? If you're into that thing, definitely feel free to let me know. Feedback, at aftersight.org. I'd definitely be curious. I'm sure there are other people out there that are into sound effects and UI sounds and stuff as well. But just something I wanted to talk about is it's never really been mentioned, but sure caught me by surprise when I put on my Meta glasses one day and they made a completely different chime when they fired up. And the last two things that they've added concern controlling the glasses, both through the camera button and the touchpad. They've added a new 3-finger touch and hold gesture, but I also found out you can use 2 fingers and it works all the same. And previously, you did have the ability to adjust what happened when you would press and hold 1 finger on the touchpad. You could either make it activate Meta AI or Spotify or control your music playback. And now they've added that 3-finger gesture, and it has the same set of controls as the 1-finger touch and hold gesture. And the reason I like this is because now I have my touch and hold gesture with 1 finger set to launch my Spotify, and it'll play a recommended playlist. It'll either go through my liked songs or whatever I was recently listening to. But if I don't want to use the wake word, I can now hold 2 or 3 fingers on the touchpad and it will activate Meta AI instead. So it's really nice to see that they've kind of expanded the touch controls just a little bit. I definitely did not see that in the settings, at least before the July update. So that's why I'm kind of putting it here under the undocumented section. You can also now swap the camera control around in a sense. And what that means is typically with the camera button on the top of the glasses, you press it once to take a photo and press and hold to record a video. But you can swap that around, and I did. And now I've got my glasses configured to, if you press the button, it will start or stop video recording, as I tend to record a lot more videos than I take photos. And if you press and hold the button, it'll take a photo. So nice to see that you can change that around a little bit. But that's pretty much it for the latest and greatest from Meta and the Meta Ray-Ban and Oakley smart glasses. If there's anything I've missed or anything that you've noticed, or any suggestions, comments, questions that you may have, please let us know. Feedback at aftersight.org, or you can leave a voicemail at 720-712-8856. But I will be doing some BLT Bites on some live AI demos, the detailed image description, and various other things not concerning smart glasses as well. So stay tuned for that. And with that being said, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in and listening to another episode of Blind Level Tech. I know it was a little bit short for this week, but trust me, we'll be back to our nice, long, rambly episodes and have some pretty fun guests on in the not too distant future. This has been another episode of BLT. My name is Evan Starnes, and I'll talk to you guys again next Wednesday.